Relationships often experience phases where everything appears flawless, creating an illusion of perfect harmony. Then, without warning signals, the dynamic shifts dramatically. Text messages that once arrived instantly now take hours or even days to receive responses. Phone calls that previously happened spontaneously become increasingly rare occurrences. Eventually, complete silence descends upon the connection. During these moments, every woman experiences a profound sense of instability, as though the ground beneath her feet has suddenly vanished. Her heartbeat accelerates, while countless unanswered questions flood her mind. An overwhelming tightness builds in her throat as doubt begins launching its relentless assault on her thoughts. What mistake did I make? Have I become uninteresting to him? Could there be someone else capturing his attention? Most women immediately conclude that he's losing romantic interest. However, the reality often represents something entirely different. Paradoxically, the stronger your emotional bond becomes, the more likely he'll require solitary time for personal reflection. This pattern resembles an intricate dance routine where partners take two steps forward, then one step backward. Yet each backward movement serves as preparation for achieving deeper intimacy. Within this emotional choreography, every gesture carries significance, and each pause holds meaningful weight. The renowned psychiatrist Jung once observed that everything which irritates us about others can lead to greater self-understanding. This principle applies perfectly to our current situation. When a man creates distance, it doesn't necessarily indicate diminishing love. Instead, it reveals his internal struggle with overwhelming emotions. He's not fleeing from you specifically. Rather, he's escaping from feelings his mind isn't prepared to fully accept or process. Men and women experience emotional processing through fundamentally different approaches. Women typically need verbal expression, detailed analysis, and sharing their thoughts with others. Men require quiet contemplation to organize their mental landscape. The more intense his feelings become, the greater his need for personal space to comprehend these emotions fully. This process resembles deep-sea diving. The deeper you descend beneath the surface, the more oxygen reserves you need for a safe return to the top. Throughout this journey, every man explores his emotional depths, confronting fears and uncertainties that previously remained hidden within his subconscious mind. When a man experiences genuine love, his mental state becomes chaotic. Everything feels overwhelmingly profound and startlingly real, which triggers significant anxiety. During this period, many men silently ask themselves questions they never voice aloud. Am I truly ready for this level of commitment? Do I deserve this person's love? Am I sufficient for her needs? Can I handle this emotional intensity without losing my individual identity? Rather than seeking answers from external sources, they pursue internal resolution through solitary reflection. For women, this behavior feels like betrayal, but for men, it represents emotional survival strategy. It functions like a system reboot. Sometimes you must power down completely to restart with renewed strength and clarity. His mind becomes a battlefield where heart and logic wage war, where the desire for closeness conflicts with fears of losing personal autonomy within the relationship. Something remarkable occurs during this internal conflict. The stronger his feelings grow, the greater his need for isolation becomes. His heart whispers yes, while his mind shouts wait. This internal contradiction becomes almost tangible. A man may feel trapped between the urge to draw closer and the terror of dissolving his identity through excessive intimacy. This represents a natural developmental process, an emotional reconstruction phase, where old behavioral patterns no longer function effectively, but new ones haven't yet formed. During such vulnerable moments, men find their usual protective mechanisms completely useless against the intensity of deep feelings. This transformation can be compared to a caterpillar's metamorphosis into a butterfly. Externally, nothing appears to be happening, but internally, dramatic change is occurring. Even while maintaining distance, a man who genuinely loves will continue sending subtle signals. He'll discover ways to maintain connection through occasional messages, social media interactions, or story comments. These delicate threads still bind you together. When he does communicate, his sincerity becomes evident. His messages carry substantial meaning and depth. He demonstrates genuine interest in your activities and emotional state. During face-to-face encounters, he remains tender and caring. His body language, eye contact, and vocal tone all confirm that your connection endures. This resembles a lighthouse beacon cutting through fog. Even when not constantly visible, periodic flashes of light penetrate the haze, reminding you of its presence. These small gestures of attention represent his way of communicating, "I'm still here, just trying to understand myself better." Within these seemingly insignificant actions lies enormous internal work and emotional processing. Your reaction to his withdrawal can either draw him closer or push him away permanently. Many women desperately attempt to restore the previous dynamic through any means necessary. They increase their messaging frequency, try to determine what went wrong, and force conversations about the relationship. However, when a man battles internal chaos, external pressure only intensifies his desire to escape. You must act against natural instinct and stop attempting to reclaim his attention. This situation resembles holding sand in your closed fist. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips through your fingers. Remember that his distancing doesn't always indicate absent love. Sometimes it signifies how profoundly he's processing your relationship. When women understand this principle, they can provide what men truly need: space for personal growth and the opportunity to return stronger and more confident in their feelings. Grant him freedom. Avoid asking probing questions. Don't apply pressure or demand explanations. Allow him the time needed for self-discovery. Redirect your focus toward personal development. Instead of obsessing over his absence, utilize this period for your own growth and improvement. Remain emotionally available, but not overly accessible. When he returns, don't immediately rush into his arms, but also don't punish him with coldness. Remember this fundamental truth: what you desperately chase runs away, while what you accept calmly finds its own path back to you. This represents the paradox of human relationships. Sometimes you must release something to truly keep it. Use this time to strengthen your personal boundaries. Understand your authentic desires and requirements. When you concentrate on self-improvement, something magical happens. You become even more attractive in his perception. He observes a woman who's confident and doesn't depend on his presence for happiness and fulfillment.
As Jung wisely stated,
What you resist enslaves you. What you accept transforms you. Don't resist his need for distance. Accept this situation and use it as an opportunity for personal development. Authentic love isn't about control, but about freedom to be yourself, even when that freedom temporarily leads him away from you. Remember, if a man truly loves, he will always return. Genuine love doesn't disappear. It only grows stronger through periods of silence. This process resembles plant growth. Sometimes it needs shade to strengthen its root system, but ultimately it always reaches toward the light. During this growth period, incredible transformation occurs. Relationships become deeper, more resilient, and more stable. Each partner begins understanding not only their companion better, but also themselves. Love encompasses not only closeness, but also the wisdom to give each other space for individual development. It's a dance between intimacy and independence, between passion and personal freedom. When you learn to perform this dance with grace and understanding, you'll realize that withdrawal isn't an ending, but the beginning of deeper, more conscious connection. True love, as Jung explained, isn't the merging of two people into one, but the creation of space where each individual can grow and evolve while remaining authentically themselves. Within this environment, each partner can be genuine without fearing the loss of connection with their companion. In such an atmosphere of freedom and acceptance, the strongest and deepest love emerges, love capable of withstanding any challenges and growing even stronger through adversity. When you embrace this process, something wonderful occurs. Relationships develop naturally, without force or manipulation. You begin seeing beauty in the dance of approaching and distancing. You understand that each step backward is preparation for two steps forward. Through this understanding, relationship wisdom is born, the ability to love without losing yourself, and to allow yourself to be loved without losing the other person. This represents mature love, the kind Jung described. Love that doesn't consume but liberates, doesn't restrict but expands the horizons of possibility for both partners. Continue exploring valuable insights and perspectives that can enhance your understanding of relationships and personal growth.